All right, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Interesting day in the world. Let's get started. It is Wednesday, September 28th. It's 10:35 a.m. here in the Arizona desert, and the market's starting to look good. The crypto market, that is, and the traditional markets also. So, as always, BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. Indicators that I use and things that I mention are often posted there. Looking at FinViz, we have a beautiful green day in the S&P 500 world. So Dow up 1.6%, NASDAQ up 1.44%, S&P up 1.59%. They're all up nice and strong. They started with an upwards trend and they have kept it. One thing very interesting to look at here is the market in general across all sectors is green except for, well, medical devices, whatever Align is here, Align Technology. They blew it today. But Apple down 2.28%. They had a hack. I believe that's what caused it. I forget the details. It's not like it's an issue for people's, security and such like that. I think they just got hacked. And what was it? I forget. I saw some very interesting things that were getting posted on people's phones. I think through their news feed or something. Well, anyway, a green day in S&P 500 land. Apple, not so much, but for reasons of, well, basically emotions. People are nervous. The big news of the day is the dollar strength index, DXY, right here in the middle top, is dumping today. And if you note, it has been going on an uptrend like crazy recently. This is a daily chart. These are all daily charts. And if you look, this uptrend has just been crushing the rest of the market. When the Fed raises rates, ultimately that's to just repress the economy so that nothing moves and therefore hyperinflation stops, you might say. At least that's my uneducated belief and what I've heard through people commenting who know a lot more than I do on it. But in general, Fed rate increases to get us out of hyperinflation and supposedly help the economy. Basically, it's helping it through crushing the consumer um, and the stock market and such. So when we see those rate hikes, they're actually far more devastating than we realize, than many realize. And I'm learning how devastating they are. And then eventually, when they've hiked them enough, then only the government and Fortune 500 can borrow money. And it's really totalitarian bullshit. So rate hikes aren't good. So when we see those, realize it's pretty horrible. Anyway, rate hikes do tend to pump the DXY, dollar strength index. But today, for whatever reason, on the daily chart, as you can see, it's been in this upwards channel. But today, it's dumping hard. Why? I don't really know. But it is happening, and that's rather interesting stuff. So it's dumping hard. Interesting. But that is allowing the traditional markets, the big indexes, and as you can see, the Fortune 500, of course, like right over here, you can see that Fortune 500, except for Apple, that's getting dumped on news today. It wouldn't surprise me if it closes the day green, to be honest with you, but Fortune 500 rocking. Also, crypto market having a wonderful rally this morning. So there you go. Basically, the the power of evil indicator, the DXY, taking a dump today, and the world's getting a break. All right. So WTI, not WTI, I'm sorry, US oil spot over here. Oil's pumping. I know that's not so cool if you have an SUV like I do. It's just that it doesn't make sense that it's dumping against that it has been dumping. It doesn't make sense to me. There's only so many strategic oil reserves that we can actually burn up towards the midterms to try to keep the oil prices suppressed. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me that it's dumping. And now that it's pumping today, not that I want gas to cost more, but that reflects reality more so. So now DXY dumping, good. Oil pumping, good, even if it kind of sucks. But what else we get to see here is look at the ride the S&P 500 has been on. When you get the DXY pumping like it has been, look at this. The DXY. I'm sorry. When the DXY is pumping like it has been, you see the S&P 500 actually opening with freaking gaps like that towards the way down. So last couple good number of days have been pretty awful, except for when the DXY took a break, like right here. Now we're getting a little bit of a bounce here. And also we're getting a bounce where there was previous support back here on the 17th of June. So maybe we're seeing a turnaround. I mean, the DXY can only pump so much, right? It's got to give the world a break, and also reality eventually, even in, kind of the clown world of the DXY, eventually, reality does have to come into play. So it's getting back in the channel that it's been in. I mean, it broke out of the channel that it's been in. Now it's heading back to it. I would love to see it bounce off like the 50 moving average here or something like that. Maybe not totally crushed, but just come back to the bottom of the channel here, a little dollar strength index, and give the world a break. Let us make some money. Anyway, US Tech 100, whether you like them or not, green day for them. Gold right here in the middle bottom, pumping like crazy. I love seeing that. Silver pumping like crazy. I love seeing that. We're pumping for them. Not really pumping for a shitcoin, but pumping for gold and silver. Definitely a wonderful thing. And something else about the DXY, dollar strength last year, basically. And let's see, how does this chart look? Yeah, current strength over the last year for the dollar strength index. Look at that. Boom, going up. Canadian dollars dumping, Australian dollars, euros, British pounds, Japanese yen. The one thing that's not mentioned here, though, is the Russian ruble, which is just dominating. So how long can this last? This is one of the things that I worry about, is that when reality does hit, that's when all of us are going to have to be in motion. Whatever you're trading, you're going to want to get into it, because that's going to be our chance. If you're a long, or if you like to long and not short. If you're short, you don't care. But if you do long, if you're kind of a long only trader, which like 90% of traders are, I think, then this dollar strength index dumping is probably a glorious thing to see. And eventually it's going to start dumping to a point where, I don't know, I'm not a doomer or anything like that, but I do think if reality hits the dollar strength index, which eventually it will, gird your loins and buy some Bitcoin. Not financial advice. Okay. Bank of England capitulates, restarts QE due to significant dysfunction in bond market, material risk to financial security. So just a few days ago, we wrote that something is about to break and prompt a capitulation from one or more central banks, which oddly was met with mockery in the comment gallery. Wow, I'm not sure who wrote that. Yeah, on Zero Hedge, hard to imagine mockery to that statement. Anyway, also a few weeks ago, we said that we are nearing a moment in time when central banks will do QE and rate hikes at the same time. Anyway, looking through this article, it just makes me realize, reading this, that sure, this is the Bank of England. True, it's not, maybe you don't care if you're here in this country, if you're in America, but if you're in Europe, you certainly care. If you're in England, you certainly care. If you're sitting there in London. But the issue is, no, I'm sorry, wrong. That's wrong country. Sorry, London's in Britain. Anyway, everything happening there is going to happen here also. So this is a big deal. And as I was reading this article and seeing other news about it, it does seem that like the Bank of England had to like straight up go, oh my gosh, and start this rather quickly and abruptly. This seemed to me to be a reaction, as in like you just dodged one punch and now you're dodging the next one and trying to punch back. This was not necessarily something that they planned on doing. Maybe they were ready to do it, but it seems like it was very reactionary. I mean, I've seen some things online, some reports, and we'll see how this pans out. But literally, this was a oh shit moment, and they had to start doing QE on the hurry up, as they would say there, because supposedly even like pension funds would have been insolvent. I mean, this might, it's all alleged, but you want to watch this story because there might be more to this than meets the eye. And it's kind of curious that this happens right after Nord Stream gets nuked. You know what I mean? Something to think about. Now, Bitcoin volume is explicitly last 24 hours, 12.7 billion. That is really, really good. I like it. I'm looking at spot trading pairs. They were all green this morning earlier. We're starting to see some red now, but in general, we had a burst of action this morning as far as spot trading pairs on the big exchanges. It's beginning to chill a little bit, and that makes sense. You kind of can see it here on the 7-day graph. We had a bit of an now we're having a little bit of a sideways. Let's see how long this pump lasts this morning. 65 billion for derivatives, longs versus shorts with leverage. On 65 billion worth of that on Binance last 24 hours, down a little bit. That's really good. So, That's nice derivative volume. It's 50 is good. 50 is like crappy. 60 is really great. Above 70 is amazing. That's 65. So we have nice volume happening here in the market, but I see it trailing off rather quickly this morning. Definitely was green yesterday. It's trailing off now. Let's see what that means. I'm kind of noticing some tops on trends that I'm watching on coins that are performing. So we'll take a look at that. Let me refresh this. 19,568 per Bitcoin right now. Nice price. Nice to be well above 19,000. I do like that. 19,000 does seem to be a psychological level that we're playing with. In general, we've got some green in the top 100. Quant is doing well. QNT, Helium, whatever that is, HNT, doing very well. Pancake Swap, nice to see that doing well. 3.6%. Ethereum name service, ENS, 7.6% up. Kava, I like Kava. It's up 8.3%. Pax Gold, that's kind of fun. Pax G, basically gold-based stablecoin, I do believe, up 1.9%. That would make sense since gold is pumping. So we'll try to take a look at some of these. I had a hard time finding coins that were really performing this morning. Last night we did have our blockchain education call where Jonathan Regan, one of the top guys there, went over like 50 coins that are performing that look good. I did not. I didn't get through it all last night. I didn't update my little teal list, as I call it. I'm gonna do that later, maybe come on later today, or I'll cover it tomorrow. But so I don't have a lot of alts that are doing really well to talk about, or that have a lot of potential. But we'll look at what I do have on my list. I just haven't updated it from last week, and so anyway, sorry about that. We'll either get it out later today or tomorrow. Anyway, longs 59%, 40%. So longs 59%, shorts 40% for Bitcoin on Binance. For Ethereum on Binance, 60% long, 39% short. So we're seeing a long bias, but it's not really perky, in my opinion. Now here we go, Bitcoin. As we see the volumes beginning to fail, or it pumped up, you can see it over here. Boom, boom, boom. Where is it at? Bonk, bonk. Yeah, we saw the beautiful volume here. It was all in the green. Now it's starting to turn red on some of the exchanges, as in it's just not positive anymore. We had a beautiful run up today. Bitcoin performed like crazy. It got above the 200 and the 314. It's been pumping like crazy. I love seeing this. This is Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart. Looking at this on Binance here. It's a beautiful run up. These indicators look good, but that's a lot of push, and it pushed above important levels. So now, of course, we're seeing, reality kick in. That's a lot of push. So what we want to see is the 45-minute chart, can Bitcoin stay above this 200 moving average? It's fine that it retraces. That really, really, really makes sense. Just a matter of, will it retrace the 200 and bounce? If it does, wonderful. That would be natural. So let's look at a Fibonacci sequence right here. Let me go way to the bottom right. You know what? Let me just start here. Let me put it, how about here? There we go. And we go to here. What are we looking at here? The 200 moving average, if we look at a fib sequence, looking at this kind of recent pump that we had when it started to move up, disregarding this little tail here, or wick, I should say, the 200 moving average is right at the 0.5 level, 0.5 fib level, and that'd be a fine place to bounce. And so would the 618. So really, the 0.5 is at 19,145. If we bounce there, great. If we go below the 200 moving average, that's not so happy, not so groovy, but a 618 bounce would do if we get back above the 200 moving average after. And that'd be right at 19,022. The 618 golden pocket's basically between 18,989 and 19,022. So there you go. Take it for what it's worth. I'm going to take this right now, just in case you have interest. I'm going to copy a link to this chart image. Boom. I'm going to put this in the live chat. So if you so desire, you can look at that later. I think those are very, very probable bounce spots. Let me actually clean this chart off real quick here. Let's look at the same thing on a 4-hour chart. How are we looking there? One thing that I like to see, recently on the 4-hour chart, we did have a break above the 200 moving average, but we did not hold it. But now we're going to challenge it again. How these 4-hour indicators look. We do have not super positive. We'll see. Although what I do like seeing here is we are seeing these yellow volume spikes. So we are seeing some nice volume come in. People are trying to push, the whales are trying to push Bitcoin in one direction or the other. Anyway, let's see what happens. We really need to see another move like this where we bounce above the 200 and the 314, but we got to stay there right here, kind of a fake out. Let's see what happens. Bitcoin not looking super strong, but at least it's kind of getting a little bit of energons going. Something I've been watching here is XMR versus USD. I like XMR versus USDT. One thing I like about this one, we saw some definite volume come in this morning on the 45-minute chart. It broke above the 200 moving average, and now it's I think it has more of a chance. It's coming back down to the moving 8 right here, the 8 moving average, which I have in red. That's the 8 moving average there. I could see this guy kind of leveling out and continuing up. So I've just been liking the look at this. You can see the squeeze indicators turning positive. Got blue, positive binary candles. You got KRIs looking good. Stochastic RSI shows a little bit oversold. Directional index is still in the green, but the ADX is starting to trail off there. Maybe it's got to retrace a little ways. It does look like it, but let's kind of see what happens. Also on the 4-hour chart, how does Monero XMR versus USD look? It's kind of like Bitcoin. It made that challenge of the 200 moving average, but it did not keep above it. It pumped hard, dumped hard, moving back up. It's kind of doing what Bitcoin's doing, but I do like the look of it. I'm just kind of watching XMR versus XMR USDT. It just seems to be speaking to me. So sorry, that's not very scientific or TA, related, but I'm just saying it. It looks like it's got possibility. As far as coins that are doing good today, I like to look at Cake versus BTC. Recently had a 200 moving average visit, came down, dumped this morning, moving back up. But what I like is that it never got anywhere near the 200 moving average. Indicators are still directional. Squeeze indicator still in the green. Binary candles are still blue. Got a kind of a mixed signal here. Directional index is in the red, but it just turned blue. ADX is kind of pushing down, but we'll see if it turns around. I'm going to watch this one. Because basically Cake versus BTC has been this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful uptrend. It's kind of hard to miss this. Look at that. Glorious, glorious, glorious. Look at that. Boom. Beautiful. Who doesn't want to get in that and just sit, just chill and make BTC sats? So it's right here at the beginning, at the mid range of the channel. One thing you can see is a lot of nice big volumes coming recently. It would not surprise me if this guy keeps on going. So I'm kind of watching Cake versus BTC. We'll see what happens. We're either gonna see a continuation, where we bounce here, bonk, bonk. Or we're going to do something more like this. We're going to lose this mid-range, come here, and then basically, continue back up. So I'm watching Cake versus BTC, pretty strong chart, like what I'm seeing. Anything else in the green here? LUNC versus USDT. Interesting coin. It's kind of what I like is that it broke the 200 moving average back on the 26th of September, and it has held it. It's riding the 314 right now. Don't like seeing that too much, but looking at the squeeze indicator and the binary candles and the directional index and ADX, they're all kind of trending towards the positive here. So LUNC, it's worth watching. Not feeling totally strong about it, but at least it's in the green. BNX, BTC, not too excited about that one. Let me look over here. Let me try to find some coins that might be doing, might be doing fun stuff. Wait a second. There we go. Let me look at my little scanner here. Sorry, guys, to not have these figured out beforehand. We'll rock through these real quick. Okay, I do have some recent alerts here on coins that look kind of interesting. Sorry you can't see them. It's on a different screen. It's just a pain in the ass to share it. Theta versus USDT. Let's look at that one. Let's add that one to the list. These are ones that just happen to be I'm seeing as USDT. Where can you play that one? Binance and KuCoin. Okay, everyone's got one of those two. Theta versus USDT. The 45-minute chart. One to watch. Not too exciting. Could be coming back around. Anything else looks interesting here? MC, Wing. Let's look at Pond. Pond's been doing good. Pond, USDT. From Binance, Coinbase. Interesting one. Let's look at that. Pond. Pawn's kind of exciting. It made that challenge. The 200 and the 314 crossed them both. Didn't hold it. Indicators look like they're slowly turning up. What else is there? Oh, let's look at the let's look at this. The top 100. Who's exciting? Helium's been looking pretty good. HNT. Let's look at HNT versus BTC. HNT, USDT. Let's look at it that way. Let's add that. How's that looking? Oh, that's really nice. Whoa, look at that. Helium, HNT versus USDT. That's pretty rocking. So you can see it was collecting 200 moving average crosses here by the pink squares, some 203.14 crosses, which is really nice there by the blue diamond merit badges. Really pumped hard, still pumping. It broke top of the RSI cave. It's far from the moving 8. Big volume came in here in the 45-minute chart. This guy's looking good. I'm not quite into getting anything pumping this hard, but let it kind of come back down to like it's above the RSI cave right now. Let it kind of come back down to this, like where this moving 8's moving. Let it kind of do a visit there and start moving. This one's a little too hot for me, but I'm going to watch this one. That's definitely a pretty grooving coin there. That definitely could continue. Just because it pumps so hard doesn't mean that it's going to just necessarily Bart Simpson on you. This is a pretty strong looking chart. I like what I'm seeing. It's been flirting with a run like this for a while. One thing I like is, coins like this would have loved to got it when it first broke, because you can see when it makes these 200 moving average crosses, like here, bam, here it bounced, there it crossed, boom, here it crossed, didn't do much, here it crossed, made a little bit of a move. I like coins that are bursty like this upon important moving average crosses, because you can get in there and definitely make some money before hopefully your trailing take profit sells it. Let's look at top movers here again. Who else is interesting? ENS is moving. ENS. Let's add ENS to the watch list. ENS, USDT. That's on Bybit and KuCoin. Good. ENS, USDT. Yeah, big move. It had this beautiful 200 moving average bounce here. Moved up hard, retracing, got above the RSI cave. It's going to come back down. ENS USDT is definitely one to watch for retrace. After it retraces, to continue moving back up. Kava, everyone likes Kava. Oh, SNX too. SNX has been a real move. Let's look at SNX and Kava. Let's add those to the list, and then we'll get out of here. So SNX USDT, okay, boom, and then Kava USDT. These are all on a lot of exchanges, so most people should be able to trade them somewhere. SNX versus USDT. Look at this. That's wonderful. Big move up this morning. Broke the 200 moving average, came down, bounced off of it, found support, moving up. Still kind of far from the moving 8. Indicators, look at that. The squeeze indicators beginning to turn green. I like seeing that. Directional index is in the green. ADX is in the right spot. Big volume coming in. SME binary candles looking good. Squeeze indicator looking good. KRI kind of extended. Stochastic RSI kind of extended. But this one is really, really moving. I like seeing this. Let's kind of see how this one does. Let's look at this guy. Let's look at SNX versus USDT on the 4-hour chart. It's still, overall big picture kind of trying to break out of this long uptrend. If it does begin to really move up, I'd expect resistance here on the 4-hour 200 moving average around 2.731. Just like a bounce here is probably what's going to happen. But still, maybe it's getting some energons going, at least on the 45-minute chart. Maybe this one's a little bit of a play if it continues up. I myself, I'm not feeling too excited about it. It's still a bit of a maybe for me. Kava versus USDT. This is wonderful. Strong break above the 200 moving average. Did not push top of the RSI cave too hard. Big volumes come in recently. Directional index in the green. ADX catching up to a good spot. It's at about 17 right now. When it hits 20, that'll be a lot of confidence. Directional index, squeeze indicators looking good in the green. SMU binary candles looking good. KRI and stochastic RSI are beginning to trail off. It's probably going to retrace some. As you can see, it's really far from the moving 8 here. The 8 moving average is this red moving average. Is kind of far from there. So we got a lot of stuff kind of popping off this morning, but it all needs to kind of retrace a little bit. And also just because it pushed pretty hard, a lot of these alts did. But of course, with Bitcoin right now, if you look at the 45-minute chart, get rid of all this other hoopla, as we can see, it definitely made a nice run today. It's gotten above important moving averages. If we can find support in this 200 moving average or above it and continue moving up or going sideways, that would be awesome. Especially if we can stay like 12 to 24 hours above the 200 moving average, even with sideways traffic or even with sideways momentum or even a little bit upwards, that's going to allow alts to just get crazy and start pumping. So with that said, this could be a really great setup. We're starting this next 45-minute candle here in the green. Let's look at the 15-minute chart and see if we can see a little bit more idea of what's going on. 15-minute chart. We'll see. Also, that's kind of an interesting thing there. I know we're looking at incredibly short time frames, but 15-minute chart got broken above the 200 moving average. It's coming down. Now it's really doing its kind of a test here, the 200. Let's see if it can stay, if it can make a move above the 200 on the 15-minute chart and start making traction, and then basically do the same thing on the 45-minute chart. So with that said, I'll probably be on later on today, and I'll go through coins that we found that are looking great on blockchain education. This week's coins. I'm not going to do that every week because it is kind of like you got to join the team, you know, to come in for that big win together. But I do want to give you guys some idea of what's going on and show you some good stuff so we can all make money, but also to kind of promote blockchain education, because I do think if you go to the show notes on this video, if you go over to blockchain, if you go over to, Bitcoin Daily View, and you scroll down, you're going to find right about here, blockchain education. There's a bit of a dated infomercial, and then right here is the affiliate link for me. I make a few bucks if you join, and I really truly like making money, and I like the idea about the people making money too. I like everyone coming in for the big win. All right. I like to see prosperity, and we might be coming into a couple days of that if the DXY continues to lose power. We have the ability to pretty much pay for the rest of the year if you get in some good alts right now, maybe even Bitcoin. So let's hope that the dollar strength index continues to plummet. and we can make some money. The truth is out there. For every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit globalist cries, and that's really important. Let's make them cry. Take care, everybody.